Chicago Bears Now is sponsored by HexClad. Upgrade your kitchen with brand new cookware from HexClad. Get 10% off with code CHAT at HexClad.com. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. And on today's show, we're going to take a look at the latest Bears news and rumors coming out of OTAs. Media access today out at Halas Hall. So a lot of news and notes to cover from that, including, coming up, we will take a look at a certain player. Could a holdout be coming? I don't think it's likely, but I think it's something worth discussing around a big-name player for the Chicago Bears. Stay tuned for that. You are not going to want to miss the latest on that and my opinion on it. Okay, let's get to some other takeaways first from OTAs, though. Justin Fields really just continues to impress everyone. I know it's the time of year where it's kind of roses and ponies. There's not a lot of negativity right now, especially a team like the Bears. We're coming off a bad year. The vibes are good. We're moving forward, that type of thing. But I do think there's something here. Alan Williams had this to say, the Bears defensive coordinator going up against Fields in practice every day, says he sees leadership, good decision-making. I see improved accuracy. That's what you want in your quarterback, and how fast he's processing. From day one to right now, I see how he's grown. Cody Whitehair, Justin Fields' new center, by the way. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit as well. But he also had to say he's very demanding in the huddle, and his leadership has taken another step as well. Now, look, talk is talk, right? That's all it is. I can sit here and say that I'm about to cure cancer, but that doesn't mean I've actually done anything, right? It's just me talking. But the positive vibes are there, and I do think there's reason to be optimistic about the quarterback going into 23, coming off some progress in 2022. Zach Pearson, kudos to him and all the other reporters who had boots on the ground at Halas Hall today. He tweeted out that Justin Fields and DJ Moore connection was working again in the limited team periods at practice. Some nice throws and catches from the duo. So you like that as well. You want to see the quarterback playing well. You want to see him connecting with his new number one receiver. So, look, it's the last day of May. Long way to go, but I think the good vibes are there, and there's a lot of reason to be excited. Are you buying the Justin Fields hype? Type B for buy or type S for sell. Let us know in the comment section below, B for buy or S for sale when it comes to QB1. How about Tyrique Stevenson picking off QB1, which I'm sure will have people freaking out. I was actually fired up to see this. The rookie corner able to pick off Justin Fields today. Again, Zach Pearson and others, Courtney Cronin, other reporters with the note that Stevenson was able to pick off the quarterback. I'm not going to lie, this fired me up. You want to see someone emerge as a number 2 outside corner in the secondary, and especially with Jalen Johnson out. We'll talk about him later on as well. It's good to see Tyrique Stevenson out there making plays for this Bears defense. I project him to be your CB2 opposite of Jalen Johnson with Kyler Gordon playing in the nickel. If Tyrique Stevenson can emerge as a legitimate starting corner in this secondary, that is big for this team, because ideally Kindle Vildor is not a starter. Jaylon Jones and those guys aren't either. All right, guys, fired up to tell you about our newest sponsor here at Bears Now. It is HexClad cookware that is going to upgrade your kitchen. Get 10% off with promo code CHAT at HexClad.com. They have revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy them. Use promo code CHAT at HexClad.com for 10% off. HexClad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They are metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. Don't take my word for it. Take celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay's word for it. So he calls them incredible with absolutely no stick. They're going to cook to utter perfection regardless of what you're cooking in your kitchen. They're also the sexiest pans on the market. Score points at home. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy with HexClad. Real cuisine is not made in the microwave. It's cooked in HexClad. For a limited time only, get 10% off with code CHAT at HexClad.com. Look at these bad boys. I mean, they look great. They feel great. You've got the pots as well if you want to cook some pasta at home like me and my wife do all the time. Code CHAT at HexClad.com to get you 10% off. That link and promo code in the description and comments of this video. Cody Whitehair next up on our takeaways. We saw his quote about Justin Fields earlier, but he talked about being back at that center position. Obviously, we've known for a little while that was the plan, but we hadn't heard from the veteran offensive lineman yet this offseason since that move was discussed. And Cody Whitehair, first of all, said he was glad, he's glad he's still here. He thinks this team can make a run this year, he even said. But in terms of moving back to the center position, he said, look, it's like riding a bike. He talked about moving around before. He's kind of used to having to move around positions. He's played guard, played center in his NFL career. But look, you look at this. If Cody Whitehair can hold down that center position at even an average to above average level, I'm not asking this guy to be an all-pro, but if he can be notably better than Sam Mustipher, like this O-line could be much improved, fellas. You get Cody Whitehair in the center, a veteran to stabilize that position, even if it's just for 1 year. Another year of Braxton Jones, another year of Tevin Jenkins. You sign Nate Davis, who still isn't at OTAs. I don't love that, but, once he's here, it should be good to go. You drafted Darnell Wright. Like, this O-line could actually be sneaky solid. Like, I'm not saying top 10 in the NFL, but top 15, top 20, and that would be a much more improved group compared to recent years. Subscribe today. Do you want more Bears news, rumors, and updates from OTAs and everything else surrounding this team? If that's what you want, hit that subscribe button. We're 100% free here at Chicago Bears Now. We're not charging you a penny. So if you want daily coverage, hit that subscribe button here on Bears Now. Okay, I teased it earlier. Let's get to it now. Jalen Johnson, could he hold out? Don't freak out. I'm not saying I think a holdout is coming. In fact, I don't think it's coming. But I just want to explore the topic because he's absent again at OTAs. Alan Williams didn't seem thrilled by that. Let's talk about that, and then I will mention something his position coach said. Some quotes dropping right as we started filming here. But here's Alan Williams first talking about his CB1. He said when asked if he would be there at OTAs, because he talked before practice today, he said, can I say no comment? You know what? I'm going to say no comment. We would love all the guys to be out here, but the way football is right now, it is optional, and I want the guys to be out there because I do feel that we bring value. I think we have the best coaching staff in the world, the best training staff, the best strength and conditioning staff. We have the best dietitian. I think we have the best of everything here, so I want guys to be here, but it is voluntary. So with that in mind, any of the players have to make a choice of whether they're here or not, and I love the guys that I think he was going to say I love the guys that are here, but then he said I love all my guys. The guys who are here, we're going to coach them up and teach them and be the best that we can be. So here's my takeaway. Last week, we heard similar sentiments from Matt Eberflus. This week, we're hearing it from defensive coordinator Alan Williams. They have both called OTAs voluntary because they have to call it that because that's what they are. You can't fine players for skipping OTAs. It is a league mandate. But they don't view it that way. Like, they view it as mandatory as you can possibly view it. Like, they're not going to fine them, but I'll put it this way. If Jaylon Johnson was a fringe starter, he'd be working with the backups come mandatory minicamp if that was the case. Now, he's your CB1, so he's obviously not going to get benched, but I just view that where the Bears are right now, coming off a 3-14 team, yeah, technically it's voluntary, but they value all these reps because this is a team that's young and is still trying to improve. Now, will Jalen Johnson, in your opinion, hold out for a new contract? Because that's a lot of the working theory here. He's due for an extension and would like to get extended before training camp. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know what you guys think. Now, I don't think he's going to hold out. Let's see if he's at mandatory minicamp in a couple of weeks. Like, if he skips mandatory minicamp when he could start to get fined, that could change things. Now, before we get to some important dates here, Bears cornerbacks coach via Zoom just now said he's been texting Jalen Johnson almost every other day, that Johnson's been very involved in meetings via Zoom. He watches practice tape and asks questions, says he's very engaged despite not being there. And then a reporter asked Hoke if he would expect him at minicamp, and Hoke said, I would expect him sooner rather than later. So, is that him just hoping? Is that him kind of getting word from Jalen Johnson, hey, once voluntary stuff is over, he'll be here? Who knows? We'll see. Again, I don't think he's going to hold out, but we've seen that with this team before. We saw the Roquan situation play out last year. Now, some important dates to monitor. You got one more week of OTAs next week. One more practice tomorrow for this week of OTAs as well. Mandatory minicamp, I think that's really the first kind of thing to keep an eye on with Jalen Johnson, June 13th through 15th. And then training camp, late July and August. That's really when you're like, okay, if Jalen Johnson's not at training camp, it's officially a holdout. If he's not at mandatory minicamp, I wouldn't qualify that as a holdout. But if he's not at training camp, that is absolutely a holdout. And look, you don't want that. Jalen Johnson's been a warrior for you. He's been a good player for this team. There's certain things that I wish he'd be better at. Like, he has minor injury problems at times, but he's been solid. He's been what I would call like a tier 2 CB1. Like, he's not a true lockdown CB1, but he's pretty damn good. Now, I wish he took the ball away. I wish he played all 17 games every year. But all in all, I do think he's a guy worth paying. That's what I would do. Like, I would pay Jalen Johnson. But a couple things to remember. Ryan Poles didn't draft him, so he doesn't necessarily have loyalties. And two, we saw the Roquan situation play out last year. Now, I don't think we're anywhere near that. Like, it is way premature to say that. It's all good. We don't need it. But at the same time, we've seen it before. I just think it's worth kind of storing in the back of your head, right? Like, I don't think Jalen Johnson's going to hold out, but let's see if he's at mandatory minicamp in 2 weeks. If he is, hey, no problem. If he's not, it's officially something to keep in mind at that point. So what do you guys think? Should the Bears pay Jalen Johnson, type P for pay or type D for don't? Let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll see you soon with some more news and rumors from Chicago Bears OTAs.